like, make up your mind. Clan or clad, it doesn't matter. Just know it's mountains. We're going to get up over the hill, folks. I think I'm going to have lunch. My vehicle's kind of heating up. It's just because we're going up and down mountains for hours on end, and it does heat it up. So we'll probably park up here and get a nice view of Dixie Valley and have lunch. Oh yeah, this is a good spot to park and have lunch. This is where we're going to have lunch. How about it? One of the best spots to have lunch in the world. Nobody's up here but us. Dixie Valley. This is where I'm smoking and having lunch. Above Dixie Valley. There's Wonder, Victor, and Hercules. All up in here. They're ghost towns. You kind of veer off a canyon here. See the canyon where it splits? And you go up, and there's 3 ghost towns there. You can come down on this side of the range way off in the distance and end up in Dixie Valley, which I've almost done these treks a few times. And so these are just landmarks, but we're going to go down, make our way into the valley, go 20 miles, we'll hit the cemetery and ghost town. We've been here before. There's a lot of roads, abandoned ranches and things to check out. Always something new to see, but we're going mainly for the cemetery because we couldn't find it last time. And we'll head out. Middlegate Station is, actually, if you look this way, Middlegate Station is up over this way on the 50, the loneliest road in America. It's kind of out over here, over the mountains, over these mountains. Yeah, Middlegate Station's an old pioneer station, you know, rest stop for pioneers that traveled the Route 50. And they've renovated or restored twice, and it's almost about to close a 3rd time. But it is historic, and I'm going to talk to the owners. It could be haunted. There's a lot of little things that surround the station to photograph and videotape. I look forward to it. And one last thing, folks, that's called Sand Mountain. You see all that sand? There's Sand Mountain. You see Sand Mountain? Where they do dune buggies. There's actually a station up by Sand Mountain. I heard about it. That's probably where we'll pass down here. But that's Sand Mountain right there. All sand. Well, I'd like to rent like dune buggies. They rent stuff on the mountain. It's not very big. It's a few hundred feet high. Maybe a half a mile. Any silver or gold? That rock had pyrite or gold in it, but I should have took it with me. But how do you get it out? I don't have a cyanide machine or mercury to process it, you know, or a stamp machine or an ore crusher. Folks, we came all the way down there. We've been riding over mountains for hours, no matter why my vehicle's hot. I took a 360 panorama of all the mountains around us and the Jeep in the middle. I'm surprised I held it steady to do it because my arthritis is hurting me. This campfire site. Good spot to camp, but there's no shade. I'd suffer. All right, folks. Well, if you look along here, there's a fault line from the 1954 7.0 earthquake. Tammy asked me if somebody was buried here. Well, let me answer this for you real quick. I've been talking to a lot of historians and doing a lot of group things in the past when I first moved out to southern Nevada. Again, and a guy told me that the mines that are surrounding this area, for example, if a miner died on the job and they had no cemetery and he had no immediate family, they would find a nice spot overlooking a pretty valley and they'd bury a couple individuals or miners right here. And of course the cross or wood would be gone. Just some food for thought. You never know. Just a quick overview. You have the Chalk Mountains and the Clan Mountains. And you can go on the one side of the Chalk Mountains over here and between Alpine Clad and come out near Dixie Valley. There's like 5 different ways to come on the Dixie Valley. It's huge. Military owns it, and I'm very happy that the military didn't fence it off. They allow people to picnic. They got a picnic bench. They allow people to hike, off-road. They could block it off. They own the property, but they don't. And so I get to climb tanks and check out ghost town sites and abandoned ranches. So I want to thank the U.S. government, the Navy, and the Air Force for not blocking it off, because a lot of times out here they've blocked off some ghost towns. At least they're allowing access to the Dixie Valley, and we're going to have a nice little time checking out the cemetery. Hopefully a couple farmhouses before we head to Middlegate. It's getting windy. I need a sandwich before I die. Stoned, what am I going to say? Stoned. Some serious diarrhea, you know what I'm saying? It's a mound of freaking shit. Look at that. That animal had to be the size of the size of an elephant. Hell, elephants don't even shit there. It's supposed to be a station. They had Overland and Pony Express stations this way, but it was dismantled, I read, and it was moved to Stillwater. However, some of these stations, even though they were moved, they still leave a few of the stone, like the stone ruins, the shell of the building, and they take everything else and move operations. Did not see it. However, this road that we're taking will continue to head southeast and intersect with this old wagon road, and to our left is Dixie Valley. We're just descending on the valley now. You can see some salt flats. You got the chalk and the clad mountains. But we're about 30 miles, 40 miles from the cemetery. It's like a 20-something mile dirt road. Actually, it's about 40 miles worth of dirt roads from where we had our lunch break. So technically, by the time I'm done today, I've ridden on about 140 miles worth of dirt roads. It's phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. And it tells you how little we are and how big of an area this is. Up ahead, I can see the old military. You have military satellite stations or radar or communication stations. I can see one off in the distance. I seen it last time I drove by, and it's kind of far out. But we're not too far from the road that goes parallel with both mountain ranges in the Dixie Valley. It's a very paranormal hotspot. We've seen a scarecrow come to life. I seen some strange tracks, some cattle mutilations. It's just one of those areas that's kind of weird, and the government owns it, and I don't know. I mean, there's cemetery, people died up here, there could be ghosts, anything. And so we're on the road less traveled, but we're entering a U.S. military zone. This is all owned by the military right here, this whole valley. And some of them even live on site or in this valley. In stations, who knows? Maybe they're watching UFOs out here, I don't know. There's not really any base of operations. There's a few stations and homes where some generals live. A couple tanks. Yeah, this is the road right up here to Dixie Valley. Okay, folks. Let's do this. We're making a second trip to Dixie Valley. I see an old fence and a communication station, or a satellite station, and out towards our left, once we get past the Chalk Mountains, and you see those giant peaks, they overshadow all the ranches of Dixie Valley and where we're going to be heading. About another 30 miles. Here's the power lines. We just follow the power lines, man. Oh yeah, and there's a military vehicle of some kind, or look at that. I'm sure a lot of people come and take pictures of this. Look at that. Oh.
There's a sign that says do not take pictures.
There's a sign that says don't take pictures. Sorry, U.S. Navy and U.S. Air Force. I didn't know. Now I read the sign and I'm driving off. Yeah. It's just an old military vehicle. There's nothing. But I understand their concern. I mean, there's a bunch of asshole terrorists in the world who want to fucking target sites. This is still a beautiful valley, even if the military owns it and has some equipment. A lot of scenery, a lot of history, a cemetery, some springs, some beautiful canyons. Trust me, you gotta come. If you're in Nevada, take the road to Dixie Valley. We're on the road to Dixie Valley, and everyone, you won't be disappointed. This is a really awesome place. I took my sons and Tammy with me. But I have to see more. I have to know. I gotta know what's out here. And the scenery's pretty, the road's good, and there's a lot to explore if you take some of the dirt roads. But we'll focus on the cemetery. I'll try to do a couple foundation sites or ranch sites, and then I'm out of here to go to Middlegate. Hopefully I get no more flats. I try to stay away from flat tires. But it happens, and it happens to my friends too, so I don't feel bad. It's a long road. I'm out of here. Dixie Valley used to be an old borax. Well, they tried their hand in mining, and when that failed, they utilized the springs in the area to create ranches, which in turn the cattle and the crops would feed the miners in La Plata, Hercules, Wonder, Victor, Mountain Well, again, Fairview, which is now a military zone, All really wonderful ghost towns. Some had thousands, and they had to eat. And Dixie Valley supported that, or was a leg of support to feed the miners in the region. It's like the Baja dune buggy is so sandy and slippery right now. It's good for the tires, this cool sand. It's better for the tires because asphalt and rocky roads really gets the tires heated up, friction, you know. This kind of rolls along a little smoother. I can't believe how vast it is. I never came to Dixie Valley through this way. I will say one thing, if you want to get to the damn thing, it's not too hard unless you climb the mountains like we did. If we had continued on the road, we'd have been already heading this way, but I had to go find La Plata. I had to. It would have been not fun if we didn't find La Plata. It has sucked. All the effort not finding it. Yep. I see him. A couple more miles worth of turning off. A lot of cows are lying by the road or in the road, or I can't see well, but they'll move when they see the vehicle coming. They always do. Dixie Valley's cattle country. All these valleys in Nevada and northern Nevada all have free range and cattle, the whole state, really. But you see a lot more up here. I see no bulls. It's not common to find bulls out here. That's why I was weirded out by it earlier. They hear the vehicle. It's gonna get close, guys. Hi. Hi, guys. All right, folks, I'm going to move on. I just want to take a couple pictures, and they're all steering. There is a bull. He's pretty relaxed. His tail's not flapping around too much. He's not agitated. It's the only time you can get near these bulls. You have to study their behaviors, which I do. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to get a horn in the ass, trust me. But I still have to be careful, and, you know, if they get agitated, just drive on. If they're okay, you can stand there and take a pic for a couple seconds. They'll be all right with that.